I have 6 Gmail accounts, and if you're like me, you need to watch this video because I'm going to show you how to connect individual Gmail accounts to Claude Code. Hey, I'm Ian Ryan Kirk, aka Captain AI, and if you're new here, we are boldly going where no man has gone before on this channel. My goal is to simplify AI and give you practical applications to use it in your life to help you get your time back and your sanity. When I first connected Claude to Gmail, it was through the MCP, and I want to show you what that looks like. And that's not the right way to do it if you want to save credits and take full advantage of Claude Code. So I got super frustrated because I could only connect one of my accounts at a time, and then I'd have to like switch back and forth between accounts if I wanted to check my work email with Claude or if I wanted to check my other business email with Claude. And that's just how the MCP actually works. If you connect it here through the built-in feature, it's an MCP and it only allows you to connect one account at a time. Now, what I wanted to do is I wanted to be able to connect not only my Gmail, but my calendar and everything else in different Gmail accounts, different workspaces, all to Claude using separate projects in Claude Code. On top of that, I was burning through Claude credits and that needed to change. And so I found a better way, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. So if you've ever connected Gmail to Claude, this is probably how you actually did it. You probably clicked down here on settings, opened up this settings, went here to connect, and then hit this little button right here, which says connect. And what it would automatically do is connect to whichever account was actually logged in into this browser. And you could probably switch back and forth, but it would be kind of complicated and a big headache. And this is where it all breaks down. This is what's called an MCP connection. It isn't tied to, let's say, a specific API call. It's all tied to the browser session. And if you log in or want to log in to a different Gmail while you're in a different browser, Claude won't let you do that. It can only be tied to one account at a time. You have to manually go back in and change everything over again, switch to the second account, and it just becomes a huge headache. Plus, this uses a ton of credits to be real. MCP routes data through an extra layer, which means you use more tokens. And over time, this is going to really add up and make you have to buy a larger plan. So if you've got more than one account and you don't want to switch back and forth anymore, honestly, MCP, you're going to throw it out the window. I'm going to show you something that's way better. So the tool is actually called, I'm going to paste it right here, GSW CLI for Google Workspace CLI. If you just Google search it, it's going to pop up as a GitHub. And then you can give Claude Code the exact URL to this GitHub, and it'll actually install it for you. So right here, here's the GitHub. We'll click into it. And this is it. And you can see it was done by developers.google.com workspace. So completely legit. You can just copy this URL. If you have a different technique of putting it into Claude Code that isn't mine, that's fine. Go ahead and do it. But realistically, you can just copy the URL. This is public, so it can go in as long as you've enabled GitHub as given your Claude Code the ability to read things in GitHub, it'll go in and get it for you. Otherwise, you can look up how to install this in another video because I'm not going to go through a GitHub repo install. Okay, so just real quick before we move on, I'm going to show you how easy this is. Hey, Claude Code, I just want to make sure that we have the latest version of this Google Workspace CLI installed globally. So of course, I already have this installed, so it's going to probably recognize that. So you check globally for the install of that. And it's just doing it based on the URL that I gave it earlier. Paste. We'll just allow it to be able to view all projects. And I have something while this is working that I also want to show you, because if you haven't installed node.js, you're going to need that. Don't get scared. It's super easy to install, but let's make sure that that's on your computer as well. All right, so I'm gonna open just my terminal and I'll drag that over to my screen share. Whoop, right here. This is what a terminal looks like. If you don't know how to get to a terminal, you just on pretty much any computer can search on a Mac or a PC. On PCs, it's going to usually be PowerShell, like this one is. On Macs, you can Google how to do that. I don't run a Mac, so don't shoot me. I don't have a Mac anymore. So all we do is essentially run this command. So I'll just copy it and paste it if you wanted to check to see that it's installed. Looks like we got a couple errors because it's actually busy looking at the install right now over here in Claude Code. So look at that. Looks like I did get it updated. Awesome. So this was worth it in itself. I'm on the newest version now. And again, that's a way too, like if you have a question about if somebody has updated any repo that you're using, whether that's a skill like this, whatever it is, if you just give Claude the URL, it'll tell you whether or not it needs to be updated or not. Pretty friggin' cool. Let me just show you real quick about Node, the Node.js. We'll go back to a browser just so I can quickly show you how to do that. Node.js.org. It's going to bring you to this page right here. You're just going to click Get. And then depending on what your operating system is, you'll just walk through these instructions. It's just a little piece of software that allows all of this stuff to work, and pretty simple just to install it. All right, next thing we need to do is we need to give this GWS permission to talk to your Google account. And this is a one-time setup. Once it's done, you're done, but it does require a little bit more than just clicking a few buttons like the MCP does. So we need to go to what's called the Council Cloud. So what that's going to look like is I'll just quickly cut and paste this into this browser right here. Paste. There you go. If you didn't see it, guess what? Rewind the video and rewind it again and rewind it again. Oh, hit pause and you can copy. But essentially, okay, let's get out of the incognito browser and just go to a normal one. Open a normal browser. Open window. Opens it on screen 3 over here. Okay, so let's paste that back in. Oh, there it is again, if you didn't see it before. So this is going to bring us into the your Google account, and all your projects are going to be up here. If you've ever connected something like N8N or something like that, you've probably already done something very similar to this, but I'm going to walk you through it. Okay, so once you're in, you're just going to click up here, and this might be completely blank for you. You just click right here where it says new project. So if we wanted to create a new project, we could just title it. I'll title it test, so I know to delete it. Claude, just leave no organization and hit create. So now next steps is what we want to do is go over to apps and services right here. It's down here at the bottom under quick access. Just click on that. All right, so we just created the project. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to click on that project, and it's going to open up this window right here. And what we want to do is go to the OAuth screen, and then we got to get rid of this little box, and we're just going to click down here where it says get started. And then you want to name this app. I'm going to name this as a test app, but you could name it, you know, something, I don't know, like Claude Workspace Setup or something like that. Then just put your supported email in here. Click next. It's going to blur this out for me. Then down here, you're going to put external, click next. Again, put your email address in here, and then hit finished, and then just hit continue and create. Pretty simple. You're doing great. Now what we want to do is our next step, which is going to be just essentially setting up some test users in the audience right here. So let's go ahead and click on that. So now here on this test users page, this is where most people get stuck. And the Gmail address you want to add here is the one you want to connect to Claude. Every account that you want to use that you have a Gmail account for needs to be listed here. And so you just simply add them by putting your email addresses in here and hitting save. So if I just put one in there, hit save, it'll pop in and populate. If I want to add another one of my email addresses, please blur all this stuff out. I would just hit save and it would add it in here too. If you don't have all of them in there, it won't be able to connect to all of your different Gmail accounts. Okay, now this is where it gets a little bit tougher, but don't worry, I'm here to walk you through it. So the next step is doing the credentials. And of course, if you ever get stuck and don't know what to do next and you can't find credentials, you can just ask Claude. Hey, Claude, I'm trying to hook up my GWS CLI Google Workspace to my console inside the Google Cloud. Can you walk me through that step by step? So if you ever get lost, you just click on the Google Cloud up here. It'll take you back to the home screen. And remember, we're back inside APIs. We want to click on library and we want to actually search for the different APIs that we want to connect with Google. So it's going to be Gmail. So we want that one. Hit enable, go back to library. We'd also want the drive. Make sure we put Google Drive. Google Drive, hit enable, and calendar, sheets, all the different things that you actually want it to be able to connect to. You're going to essentially enable those here in the library. You can even there's a new one for contacts. If you want it to be able to connect to your contacts, one of them no longer is, it's this one that's no longer actually working. You want to do this Google People API if you want to connect your contacts. So, but just connect all the different apps that you want right there in the library. And then next steps is we're going to go into the OAuth screen. So again, I'm just going to click back here into Google Cloud, come back here to API services. And now what we want to do is get into OAuth right here. This is what automatically makes it authorize. And if you miss this step, it's not going to connect and you'll get super frustrated. So, okay, so we just clicked into there, into the OAuth, and then we're going to click on application type. And when you do this, you definitely want to select the right one. This one for me is just going to be a desktop app. And then you can name it whatever you want to name it, like Google space create. And then it's going to give you a bunch of this stuff. Now, you don't want to cut and paste any of this stuff into your chat or into anywhere where it could essentially get hacked or stolen. What you want to do is download this JSON file. And then when you're inside Claude Code, you're just going to give it the JSON file from your downloads, and it'll populate everything for you the right way. Okay, so we're going to go back up here to Google Cloud and come back into APIs and services. Click back on credentials right here. And if you should see it just sitting right there, and all of your client IDs and stuff should be automatically filled in. Now that you have that JSON file for your specific Gmail account, you are going to want that to be inside your Claude Code. So I wouldn't tell you to cut and paste and drop it into your file system. I would just tell Claude Code that you have it and give it the actual one from the download. So copy, what you would do is, here, I'll just show you real quick. Like if you had a file, I don't know, let's just say it was this file. What you do is you just copy it right here and you just copy the path and then give Claude Code the actual path, and it can just grab that file off of your downloads file and just implement it right away for you. So you don't have to worry about cutting and pasting it into the right spot. So now we got everything set up in the Google Cloud. Now what we're going to do is we are going to essentially come back into your terminal, and we're going to make your computer give you the link to put into a browser to authorize that specific account. And this is how you do that. At least I think I remember how to do this. Okay, so this might happen. You might get like a quick link like this. And then what happens is if you click that link, it'll say something like this. And so what you actually really need is you need to ask it to give you the actual terminal code to get it to give you the URL that you need to be able to cut and paste it into the browser. So let me just ask it that real quick. Can you actually give me the terminal command to be able to give me the actual URL I will need to manually get it to pop up in a browser so I can authenticate it? Okay, and you can see, like, that's what it'll do. It'll actually, tell you to, what to actually run in your browser or what you can run in your terminal. So, what I'm gonna do is just open a terminal and show you kinda what that looks like. Okay, so this is what we wanna put in there. Let's just open a new one. This is exactly what you wanna paste in there, and that's what it should have given you. And then if it gives you something like this, just copy it. Windows copy, control copy. Okay. And then you just paste it back into Claude Code. And that was, according to Claude, a PowerShell syntax error. So just put that one in, and there we go. Looks like it all got authorized right there. And now what it'll do is you can go ahead and get the URL to get the OAuth screen. Give me the URL so that I can get the OAuth screen. And what I did for you guys is just took some screenshots of going through the process here. So as you can see, like I had all of these all connected up. And so the next screen, you just make sure that all of these boxes are checked in your terminal. And then when you cut and paste the URL that it gives you into the browser, it'll say like, hey, this app, which is your web app, is not authorized by Google. So you'll have to like not click back to safety. You'll have to click continue, and then it'll bring you up to this screen where you can simply just select all of the different apps that you got from the library. Oops. And then remember, click continue, and then it'll bring you to this screen. And then after that, you'll just hit continue again, and it'll bring you into essentially giving you an authorization to allow Claude Code now to have access to every one of those apps. So like if I go to this one right here, this one is actually connected to my lead gen J1. Go ahead and access the inbox and fix this mess. So that one's actually searching in that workspace. Then I have this one right here, which is, this is my solution system one. And this is the one I was talking to get all the OAuth screens. So I need you to go ahead and check the mailbox and tell me what we have as far as new emails. So I just want to give you a quick little diagnosis here on this one. This was an email account that I hadn't touched in literally like years, and it was just full of spam and crap and everything else. And it's going through and actually like organizing everything. I have calendar invites that are hitting it that I didn't know about. It's processing each of them. It's telling me where it's seeing things. And I found a TurboTax promo, and I'm like, hey, I probably need that this week. So pull that one out of the archive. And so it's going through and organizing everything and unsubscribing me from things and completely making this mailbox manageable again for me. Okay, so when we open up the next terminal, all I did is just cut and paste what it told me to put in there. And then this is the exact copy that I need to put into a browser. So let me open that here in the same window. And I'm going to paste that in, hit return. And instead of, oh, that one showed an error. So did the same thing again. So now I need to go back in here and tell it, let's just do this because I've had to do this before. Here's a screenshot, the paste. I'm still getting this error. Okay. So what's happening right now is I have another project that's actually this one right here that's actually working inside that account that's already hooked up to it. So that's why it's telling me it can't connect to that one. So I guess you can't connect two separate Claude projects into the same one. But once this is stopped and not operating in it, the other one will be able to connect into it as well. All right, so I hope you found this helpful. If you're like me and we're trying to connect multiple different Gmail accounts into Claude Code, this is the best way that I found how to do it so far. And it allows you to actually have separate projects that are connected to separate Gmail accounts. So that can manage your Gmail accounts. It can manage your Google Drives, your Sheets, everything, even the contacts inside that specific Gmail account. It can monitor all of that stuff inside one Claude project. So if you found that helpful, go ahead and like and subscribe and drop me a comment below if you have a topic that you'd like me to cover. And I'll see you in the next one.